I mean, when we putting pads on, it really ain't no non-contact day. Coach Arnett want us to be physical as we can, so it's just another day in the pads. So.
What's going on with you and Nick Jones? You guys seem to have a lot of fun. You and Ty and Nick are always jawing back and forth in drills.
They're probably, Nick Jones probably one on the offensive line that talk the most trash. So me and Ty just keep on going back and forth. It's all love, but when between them lines, it's about business. So.
And one time he mentioned, he said you were the hardest guy on defense, and you said no, Ty was. Do you think he was like just trolling you, or do you think he was?
Yeah. He was just trying to get me on his side, play with him and stuff. I give Ty Reed probably the hardest player on our team. So yeah.
Arnett talks about the defense, wanting to be multiple, playing different positions. You did that last year. How much experience does that give you when you get to play multiple positions?
I give you a lot. I know for a fact, Coach Brock in the spring had us do a training in each position. So, like having that depth in our linebacker room, it really helps. If one player go down, another player can step up, and we just bump over and play. So it really helps.
One of those drills outside looked like you put a pretty good hit on Woody Marks, and he got up and kind of dapped you up right after that. I guess, how do you guys kind of keep that relationship when you go through this month and you guys are hitting each other so much? How do you keep that relationship between each other?
I mean, we be joking off the field, so and it's kind of the same on the field when we ain't in between the lines. On the sideline with me and him joke around a lot. So just being able to keep that same energy and then hit each other like that and still get up and show each other love is blessing. So.
I know it's been a while since you guys took the field in Liberty Bowl. Did it feel nice to lay down the hill like that?
Most definitely. I ain't get no lick last practice, but today I got all my licks in that I needed. So yeah.
What is it like playing with Jed Johnson? How does he maybe help you be a better player?
He just pushed me. In the summer he was pushing me. Me and him going against each other, racing back and forth, and then come for our camp, he right beside me, working with me. Me and him talking to each other during plays, communicating, helping us find out which our flaws and stuff. So just having Jet with me is a great feeling.
With Aaron here last year, you guys had a decent amount of depth there at linebacker. Who are some guys that you've maybe seen so far, either in the spring or now, that are kind of stepping up to be that fourth, fifth linebacker in that group?
We got probably J.P. Purvis, Nick Mitchell, and we got some young cats stepping up. So just they keep working. You got Deshaun Page coming back. So yeah, having them all step in, come up, and it just having that depth in our room, it means a lot.
Jet talked about how nice it is to have a great D-line too, and all those guys returning. What's that like for you to have the D-line?
Had that big D-line. I can't put it in a word, but I just love having that D-line in front of me, especially when it's a four-man front. I'm gonna be free.
What's it like playing alongside Tyrus Wheaton, kind of what he brings to this defense?
It's amazing. He's a true athlete. If you see him on the field, you wouldn't think he's an athlete, but in the pads, he's a real athlete. So it's just amazing to have him on the side of the ball with me.
Things changed at all with Coach Broad coaching the full complement of linebackers? He's just more invested into linebackers. He had a special team last year and stuff, so he had to deal with special team and Sam's. Now he just focused all in on linebackers, and he's giving us his 100% undivided attention. So he have a meeting 24/7. We don't go home about 11:30. So just having Coach Brock is truly a blessing. Thank you.
Good to see it. Just give us kind of your general impressions of how your group has dealt through preseason.
Pretty good, yeah. First 5 days have been, pretty long and strenuous. They're long practices, and we're obviously going to throw the ball a lot every single day. But I got a pretty experienced group, guys that have played a lot of football, and for me, it's really just find something to work on every single day, right? Those guys know the offense, they know what to expect. But it's the little things, the details within routes that we can always get better at. So
we talked to Coach the first day about how you're getting so many guys involved in passing game, but sooner or later you have to start trimming the numbers down.
Sure.
When does that begin?
Usually we don't have that many practices left. Really, we're down under a month here. The first 2 weeks are usually find out who can do what. And again, that goes to experience in my group. I kind of know what to expect from Austin Williams, Jaden Wally, guys like that. But new guys, you got to find out what they can do, if they can help you, and that kind of goes within the first 8 to 10 practices, and then hopefully from there you got a good idea of what's going on.
I was just say between Austin and Jameer Cowan and even Wally, you guys got a ton of experience at that group. Have they almost kind of in a way helped you into that transition of being a coach and having guys who you know pretty well already?
Yeah, for sure, and that being here for the 2 years previous, out at practice, working with the quarterbacks, they kind of know, you know, what I expect just from a quarterback standpoint. I think I've talked about that before. Just if I can give them, you know, coaching points from what the quarterbacks are looking for, I think that helps them too, and vice versa, right? They give me things that they know and they see out on the field, which I think is good, and that collaboration is always a big deal for me. You know, because it's like I said, they got things they work on every single day. I got things I got to work on every single day. So, but again, the experience helps. There's no doubt about that.
Rufus had a couple nice catches toward the end. What have you thought of him this year, and what do you think he can do this year?
He's good, man. Rufus is really good. Got really good ball skills. You know, probably one of the better set of ball skills on the team. So, you know, we used him a little bit last year, but I think a guy that comes to practice every single day and he flashes. You know, so we're trying to find him ways to get him the football, and today you kind of saw that, which was good.
You're a guy that knows the quarterback perspective and now the receiver perspective. What is your opinion of the Mississippi State secondary after all these transfers?
Man, physicality is the first word that comes to mind, which is good for our guys because this is a physical league. You know, our guys got to be able to get off press, and guys are going to get hands-on, and our guys do a lot of that too. So I think the transfers have helped. Jackie Matthews, you know, is a guy that stands out to me. Jalen Green, another guy that's getting really, really good, and then with Forbesy and DCAM and all those corners, there's a lot of stuff you got to fight through, and I think it's good for our guys. But really impressed with what I've seen with the DBs so far, for sure.
Related to that, I've watched some of the drills. You and Coach Spurrier are really emphasizing downfield blocking, especially for the inside receivers there to spring some people. Does that reflect the more of the versatility you see in this group?
Yeah. I think you know, the body types are varied within my group, and just certainly with what we do on offense and what we believe in, those screens are pretty important, and it starts with the blocking, obviously. Run blocking, screen blocking, we got to be really, really good at that, and we got to be physical and tough, and this league's going to present that to you every single week, so we really put an emphasis on that, and you know, we try to work on it as much as we can. You know?
Jaden's been here a while, but what do you see out of him, and where do you think he still needs to go?
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys that we threw him into the fire real early and was really, really impressive, and has caught a lot of ball. You know, I think I looked at it today, a guy that's caught over 100 balls and 1,300 yards and almost 10 touchdowns in 2 years. That's pretty impressive. But again, you know, just like everybody else, there's always something you can get better at, right? You know, you hear this saying all the time, you're either getting better or you're getting worse, you're not staying the same. And if we're not pushing our guys to get better every day, then we're getting worse. So, but every single day I challenge those guys to find something to get better at, and you know, for the most part, those guys have done a good job, him especially.
Going back to some of the blocking you were talking about, I think last year Austin Williams talked a lot about how that was a phase of his game that he needed to improve. Where have you kind of seen specifically within his game where he's kind of improving when it comes to blocking?
Yeah, I think from his standpoint, I think he understands the blocking aspect a little bit better. You know, from our offense to kind of previously what they were doing here, it's a difference from what we do on the perimeter. So understanding blocking and understand how physical you got to be on the edge, and you know, aiming points, all that good stuff goes into effect. So you know, he's a conscientious guy, obviously super smart. The guy has like 9 degrees from Mississippi State, so I think he'll be able to figure out blocking, and I think he's done a good job of that. So I'm proud of him for that, really.
It's easy for us to watch, see guys making catches in practice, but what are some of the things that maybe we're not noticing that your guys have made improvements in just in these first 5 days?
Yeah, I think from the inside perspective is a little bit different from the outside perspective. There's a little more of a thought process that has to go on. How you stem routes, how you read linebackers and safeties and stuff like that. So once you teach somebody the offense, you teach them routes, then understanding space and leverage and all that stuff, there's a little more of, okay, I got the route, now I got to understand how to run it. So 2 years into the program, I think the steps we've made over the last 2 years, plus that extra spring and then now into fall camp, I think they've taken a pretty big step, and I'm proud of them, so it's been good.
There's never a good drop. Mississippi State had some inopportune drops last year. So now as a coach, how do you kind of drill that down and help them get better with that?
You know, not to harp on it, but, you know, those guys see it every day. We watch those cut-ups. We see those games where, you know, to put the ball on the ground's been pretty unfortunate, but they're not short on opportunities every day at practice. So it's just focusing. It's like anything else. It's like blocking and route running. You got to work us on where your hands are at and focusing on the catch, and it's an everyday process. And if you let it slip, it it can fall on you. But if you're working to get stronger hands, seeing the ball all the way through, you just constantly work on that stuff. Down the line, hopefully see less and less of that. But they'll get a bunch of opportunities. There's not a doubt about that. So.
Seems like between the receivers and the defensive backs is where we see most of the chirping and jawing going on in practice, I guess. Well, what's kind of the benefit of having that competition from those guys, about a month away from actual games?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great, and I'm probably at fault too because I like to stir it up a little bit, and that's competitive nature. And I probably hurt myself more often playing quarterback, yelling at DBs and stuff like that. But I think it's good. It sets the competitive nature for practice. These are long days and long practices, and you got to find an edge somehow, and I think having guys like Junior and DCAM getting everybody's face and our guys fighting back and chirping, and it just creates that competitive, setting. And, there's no shortage of really good DBs in this conference that are going to be in our face, and we got to learn to deal with it and continue to play through it. So I think it's really good.
Does it stir some competition between you and maybe Arnett and some of those other coaches back there?
Yeah. I like to prod those guys every now and then. It's just fun for me. I do it for sport, and they probably don't like it. But yeah, no, it's competitive, and I think that's one of Coach Leach's better practice ideas. Is it's not necessarily offense versus defense, but it's you versus the man in front of you, and he talks about that every day of throughout the season. You got to win your one-on-one matchup, and no matter what happens, good or bad, you got to fight through adversity. And good plays are good, bad plays are bad, but we got to come back and make the next one just as good and come back from a bad one. So it's been impressive to see so far, but I like it. It's fun for me.
With this new perspective you've got, what do you think of the quarterbacks now?
Man, I find myself just kind of reverting back to some of those old coaching points, but it's fun, man. I obviously I played the position and loved coaching it, but watching the development of Will and Sawyer and some of the stuff that they've been able to do for a spring now and then through into Will's third year here has been really fun to see, and I'm just trying to help coach my guys, get open for them, and together we can all make some special things happen. But it's good to see the progression, and definitely think all those quarterbacks have really taken a step forward, which is good.
What's the value of a third-year quarterback? I mean, it seems like we don't hear that very often anymore.
No, it's like you said, it's rarely happens. But within our system specifically, just that experience and those plays and being in those games and situations, and you can't duplicate that. It's hard to in practice, but Will's experience, and I think his last couple practices really have been really good. Just with his mindset and kind of how he's handled different defenses and blitzes and coverages and things like that, and how he's helped our O-linemen and receivers. It's been really fun to watch, so I'm excited for him, for sure.
And then with, Jaden, Austin, who's played a lot of football, guys that you're coaching now, how does the synergy change? Are those guys operating or thinking at a different level now because the three of them have been around as long as they have?
Yeah. In the last couple practices, there's been different instances where you hope to build something like this, but just giving each other a look, and they're on the same page to know exactly what to look for. So that's exciting when you get to see things like that. But definitely there's some synergy going on, and you hope to build that with everybody, but especially those three because they played a ton of football together. If you can get that across the board, especially with the old linemen too, then everybody takes the next step, and that's just really good for the team. So it's been good for sure.
Back to the quarterbacks, but what have you kind of seen from Sawyer and the steps that he took for, he's been here, but he hasn't taken the game or field for a game, I should say. Where have you seen kind of his development step up?
Well, first of all, a credit to Tyson Brown in the weight room. He's changed his body a lot. He's a big dude. He's 6'3", 6'4", up to 200 plus now. So that physically, I think he's getting ready to play, and his body's right. And then just the mental aspect of, nothing better can come from just getting a ton of reps. You know what I mean? So just getting the reps and going against the defense like ours that'll get after you up front and having to deal with pressure and guys and DBs getting after you downfield. As much as he can see of that, that's going to help him, going forward.